Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is John Russell. I'm a member of the UUI Board of Trustees. Whoever you are, whomever you love, you are welcome here. Whether you worship many gods, one God, or no gods, you are welcome here. And whether you danced in on little feet, strolled in, rolled up, or zoomed in, you are welcome and celebrated here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Indianapolis. We're so glad that you are here with us today during our service. There's a time for sharing the joys and sorrows of our lives with one another. Cards for sharing your joy or sorrow are on the table by the entrance to the sanctuary. We ask that you pick them up and fill them out prior to that section of our service. We invite everyone present in the sanctuary today to join our in-person coffee hour immediately following the service. We hope you find the service inspiring and meaningful.
Good morning. I'm Dustin, and my pronouns are he, him.
I'm honored to serve our congregation today as worship associate. A lit chalice is a symbol of our tradition, serving as a beacon of hope. And today, I will have Charlotte. Come up, Charlotte. My daughter. She'll light our chalice. Thank you. As we light our chalice in the sanctuary, I invite those on Zoom to light a chalice or a candle or type your location in the chat. Our chalice lighting and opening words today come from the Haudenosaunee people, specifically from Chief Jake Swamp, from a long lineage of giving gratitude before a gathering begins. Today we have gathered and we see that cycles of life continue. We have been given the duty to live in harmony and balance with each other and all living beings. So now we bring our minds together as one as we give greetings and thanks to all life. Thank you, people, for gathering here in the name of love. Thank you, Earth, for sustaining us. Thank you, waters, for quenching our thirst. Thank you, fish, for food and cleaning our waters. Thank you, animals, big and small, for giving your life to us. Thank you, plants, the food plants, the medicine plants, all the beautiful plants of the world. Thank you, trees, for your shelter. Thank you, birds, for drawing our attention to the skies above. Thank you, four winds, for the changes of the weather and the seasons. Thank you, sun, for rising each day. Thank you, moon, for moving the waters of the world. Thank you, stars, for orienting us. And thank you, enlightened teachers and ancestors, for carrying wisdom to us today. And lastly, thank you, Great Spirit, for this gift of life. It is not my intention to leave anything out, and if anything was forgotten, I leave it to each of you to send your greetings and thanks to that thing today. Thank you. And now our minds are one.
Please rise in body or in spirit as we join together in singing hymn number 73, Chant for the Seasons, Spring Verse.
Would you please now join me in saying our covenant, which is on the screen and in your bulletin. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. This is our covenant. And now we're going to say our covenant in Spanish. El amor es espíritu de esta iglesia. Y el servicio es su ley, vivir juntos en paz, buscar la verdad en amor, y orando unos a otros. Este es nuestro pacto. Please be seated. Our congregation is a lively community with many opportunities to participate. Here are a few announcements for today, but please check your order of service for more. All Souls is hosting a mental health first aid course this month. MHFA, Mental Health First Aid, is an evidence-based early intervention course that teaches participants about mental health and substance abuse challenges. Saturday, March 29th, 10 to 5, there are some online pre-work for the training. See your e-blast for details. The transition team invites you to the Visioning with Love, Shaping Our Future project, a series of small group conversations to help us reflect on who we are and where we're going as a congregation. As we prepare to search for our next minister, your voice matters. Join us after service today at one of the other 2 sessions between, including one more that is on Zoom. Sign-ups encouraged, but not required. See your e-blast again for details.
Hello, my name is Mackenzie Altman. My pronouns are she, her. Unfortunately, my partner Jim couldn't be here today. He's sick. We both started coming to UUI a little over a year ago to looking to expand our social connections. And honestly, we couldn't be more satisfied with the results. Having the space to congregate and learn and get involved has made us feel less alone and supported, and it's given us a stronger sense of purpose and hope. But it has also provided something unique that no other social group has been able to give us. UUI has given us a space to frequently commune with people that share our most deeply held values. We think it's so special to have a place to come together on a regular basis with people who hold similar social, environmental, and overall ethical and moral values as we do. Having a space like this is exceptional and rare. This is the core of why we want to see UUI thrive and why we are dedicated to contributing our time and contributing monetarily. Last year, we were new and we pledged modestly, but this year, we better understand how special UUI is and in kind have pledged generously. We truly believe UUI is a gift to us, to our congregation, and to our community, and that by contributing and helping UUI thrive means helping each of us and our society at large thrive. So, thank you.
Sorry, I was kind of a last-minute addition there. Hello, everybody. Good morning. I am Alex Irvin. I am your UUI treasurer, and I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update on where we stand with the pledge drive. And thank you, Mackenzie. She had excellent points. So at UUI, we have a total of around 209 pledge units. And so that is sometimes individuals, sometimes couples, sometimes one person get, multiple things. So, hey. 209. Last year, we had 161 of those pledge units make a pledge. This year, as of right now, we are 2 weeks into the pledge drive, we have 29. 29. And I've been doing this, this is probably my fourth or fifth year doing the pledge drive. And it seems like every year, I come up here a couple weeks in and we say, we really need you to make your pledges. And they do eventually come in. I know lots of things going on in the world right now, believe me. But something that Dustin mentioned, especially as we start thinking about the search for this new minister, finding a settled minister is a very competitive process. It's a little like dating, right? So the minister's going to come and meet us and they're going to ask, well, how are they? Are they nice? And they're thinking of the people. And we're like, okay, we're good, right? How's their place? We got a really nice church. And then they're going to ask, well, how's their money? And right now we're doing pretty well. We've got cash in the bank. We've got a lively congregation. We've got big plans for things to do. But moving into the future, we're going to want to be able to present our best side and show that, we are investing now so that we can keep this trajectory, keep this momentum, and keep growing. And right now, a pledge amount of $83,000 is not going to let us hire a new minister, and it's not going to let us keep the lights on, pay the utilities, that sort of thing. And so I just want to encourage you to think about, if we want the best possible settled minister, we really need to put our best foot forward. And that includes financial stewardship and being able to support this institution. And so I'm going to leave you with a quote from who I think is probably our favorite Dr. Seuss character as UUI's The Lorax. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. And so UUI's success depends on you and your pledge dollars. So please make your pledges. There's forms, there's QR codes. We can do this. Thank you.
Today I'm going to be playing for you Danny Boy, which you will probably recognize, and two Irish jigs, Merrily Kiss the Quaker, and Petronella, who was an Irish witch. And our concept of a witch doesn't really match this music. This woman must have been a very happy, lively person. So maybe she really was misnamed somehow.
Thank you, Leslie. That was exactly what I needed on this gray, rainy morning. Now let us enter the time of the service where we share the joys and sorrows of our lives with one another so that they may be held in community. This is one of the ways that we live our covenant with one another. As the music plays in just a moment, I invite people in the sanctuary to come up and drop a stone into the bowl if something is on your mind or your heart today. You can use both sides of the table. And if you've written your joy or sorrow on a card, please leave it in a basket on the table, and I will read it out loud. Please note that the cards are by the entrance to the sanctuary for easy pickup when you come in. And for those of you on Zoom, we invite you to use the chat feature. Please put in all caps either joy or sorrow, plus your name and pronouns at the beginning of what you are sharing if you would like me to read it out loud here in the sanctuary. You can also symbolically drop a stone into the bowl by typing drop stone or just DS into the chat. Let us share the joys and sorrows of our lives with one another. These are the joys and sorrows shared this morning. Kathleen shares the joy that she can be here on Zoom and her cold is almost gone. Breyer shares the joy that they celebrated their first name day on Thursday, which was the day that they legally became Sasha Breyer Gast. 365 days, Sasha says, Breyer says, of the government recognizing their name and gender, and they won't be erased no matter what. Joni shares a sorrow as the UUI pet chaplain. She has noticed several members have lost their animal family members lately, and she says, "We share your loss and your sorrow." And Jen shares both a joy and a sorrow. The sorrow is that Jen has been battling severe depression and has fallen behind in school and is not sure if Jen will be able to catch up. The joy is that Jen's cat DJ continues to bring Jen joy and make Jen smile every day. Sandra shares the joy that her husband starts a new job on Wednesday and gets his first cell phone this week. Pamela shares a joy and a sorrow. Sorrow that her uncle passed away. Joy that there was a good 20-week ultrasound of her baby girl. Congratulations. William shares the joy that he loves his mom and likes snuggling with her. Craig shares the joy that his exhibit of paintings opens this week at the Indianapolis Arts Center. Congratulations. And Zoe shares the joy. Zoe is also happy about snuggles. Though they may not be shared out loud today, we know there are many more joys and sorrows that remain on our minds and in our hearts. Let's pause now in the spirit of prayer and meditation for just a moment as we hold all this as a community. Blessed be, and amen. I would like anybody who would like to come up here today to come on up. We don't have a story, but we do have an activity, and I'm going to need everybody's help. Come on up. Excellent. It's good to see you all today. All right. We're going to have a fun activity. All right, so let's start by everybody taking a deep breath in. Okay, and out. And in. And out. Okay, so now I'm going to do some movements. And when I point in your direction, I want you to do the same movements. And then I want you to keep doing them until I point to you again with a different movement. Does that make sense? So I'm going to be doing movements like this, but I don't want, when I'm over here, I want you guys to keep going, okay? That sound good? Let's try it. We'll see how it goes. Let's start with this. Good, good. Nice work. What did that sound like? Rain. That's right. Did anybody else hear rain? That's right. Are there any other sounds we could add to that rainstorm using just our bodies? You could clap. That's right. Like everybody clap at different times. Let's see if we can all clap in different ways. Nice. Oh, or maybe if we all clapped at once, it could be thunder. Let's try this. Ready? Nice. Very nice. Yes, Charlotte. Oh, both. Wow. Right. So isn't it pretty cool to be able to do fun things with our bodies and do them together in a group, all together like that? Wasn't that fun? Yeah. Do we want to do it one more time? Okay, let's do it one more time. And I'm gonna add a thunderclap in there this time, okay? All right, ready? We're pros now, we know what to do. Excellent job. Thank you for playing with me today. I really appreciate it. And we're going to talk a little bit about play and bodies in just a few minutes. But for now, I invite the children to go ahead and attend your religious education classrooms. But before I forget, make sure you check your mailboxes today, because there is a voting ballot for you to pick a type of animal, and there's a treat. So make sure you check to see what kind of animal.
I already did it.
You already did it. Perfect. Early voting. That's the way to go. Excellent. Let's sing our song. That was fun. I might be a little worn out. Okay, so there I was at roller derby practice. The sweat was pouring off of me, off of all of us. It was one of those brutal practices, the kind that when it's over, I know I'm gonna feel exhilarated and on top of the world, and then the next morning I'm gonna wake up and my body is gonna not wanna get out of bed. But for the moment, those drills were demanding every ounce of energy and attention that I could give them. And then, at the end of one of my passes, as I was catching my breath, I raised my eyes and I saw one of my teammates, a seasoned veteran, start her drill pass. She moved like water, flowing through the hits, weaving around other players. She was utterly present, not just physically in the drill, but paying attention, anticipating the moves of those around her almost before they happened. Watching her, I realized she wasn't just practicing a skill, she was embodying it. Her whole self, her mind, her body, and probably her spirit were in the drill, each part supporting the others. On the way home after practice, I felt fantastic. I had the windows down and the music blaring. The air was warm, carrying the sense of summer, and I started to sing along, letting the music on the radio carry me as I replayed the night, the practice in my mind. My body hummed with exhaustion, my heart was full from the time spent with teammates, and my brain was engaged in the rhythms of the road. And in that very moment, worn out, exhilarated, deeply alive, I felt it. It was my turn to be in sync. I thought back to my teammate as she completed her drill, moving like water, fully immersed in the moment. This feeling is not something that's reserved for the most experienced skaters or athlete. I felt it then in the car, singing into the wind, body still buzzing from practice, completely immersed in that moment. I remember wanting to be able to tap into it more often, to skate like that, to live like that, with my mind and my body integrated at practice and beyond. But getting there, getting to that point, isn't just about more drills or more practice or more training. It's about something deeper. It's about unlearning, about letting go of the conditioning that told me that my body was something to fix instead of something to trust. It takes remembering what I already knew as a child, what we are all born knowing before the world taught us otherwise. You see, we are not born thinking of our bodies as separate things from our minds. Watch any child at play and you'll see a fully embodied human being, completely absorbed in the moment. Those kids were there, right? But somewhere along the way, we're taught to disconnect our bodies from our minds. We're taught to not fidget, to suppress our instincts, to distrust our bodies. Sit still, don't cry, finish all that food on your plate. When I think about the myriad ways that we teach our kids this disconnect, probably because I went to seminary, I think about Augustine or Augustine. Either way is fine. Augustine was a Christian theologian and philosopher from the 4th century who profoundly shaped Western thought. He famously elevated the mind above the body, regarding the body as an impediment, something to overcome, control, and definitely mistrust. To him, the body was weak. It was a source of temptation, whereas the mind, where the soul was supposedly housed, was a place of clarity and strength. But this neither started nor ended with Augustine. In ancient Greece, well before him, philosophers like Plato laid the groundwork. Plato viewed the body as inferior, as something temporary and separate. To him, the mind was the true seat of knowledge and purity. And then, centuries after Augustine, Descartes solidified this dualism with his famous declaration, "I think, therefore I am," firmly separating mind and body and influencing Western thought profoundly. More recently, this concept has been explored by genres from horror to sci-fi and fantasy. The science fiction novel Transcendence by William Gibson takes a wild leap into a world where mind and body separation is pushed to the extreme. The plot explores what might happen if human consciousness could be uploaded into the digital realm, freeing it from the limitations of the physical body. It's a fascinating and unsettling vision that plays into an extreme dualism by taking the mind-body split to its logical and dangerous conclusions. And we see a similar theme in Pantheon, a recent animated series on Netflix, where people are uploaded into computers. But despite the warnings of sci-fi and beyond, today we not only perpetuate this harmful dualism, we celebrate it and even legislate it in subtle and not so subtle ways. There's a dangerous dissonance in the way we present and value bodies, as we're flooded with hypersexualized images that tell us our bodies are for show, not for purpose or expression, for the approval of others, not for ourselves. We're encouraged to pursue certain aesthetics, but shamed when our bodies function in their natural capacity. For instance, a person breastfeeding in public, a normal and natural occurrence, often faces backlash, and until 2018 could have faced arrest. While scantily clad bodies in ads are celebrated, it's a confusing message that reinforces the belief that our bodies are things to be polished, shaped, and evaluated, but not necessarily respected for their own inherent worth. Roller derby and many athletics provide a powerful antidote to this narrative because bodies are valued not for how they look, but for what they can do. There is no perfect body for roller derby. All types are welcome and celebrated for the unique strengths that they bring to the track. It doesn't matter if you're tall or short, skinny or fat, or anywhere in between. What matters is that you're there and giving it your all. There are even adaptive roller derby teams for people who use wheelchairs. This unity of mind and body working together is at the heart of roller derby and, in many ways, at the heart of a healthier life. We feel the connection between our minds and bodies every day. Stress and anxiety manifest in our bodies. Tight shoulders, tense jaws, pounding headaches. Conversely, physical activities like taking a walk in sunshine or sports have remarkable effects on our minds, easing anxiety, boosting endorphins, and helping us reconnect with our sense of self and purpose. When we stop treating our bodies as separate entities to be tamed and instead embrace them as partners in our mental and emotional well-being, we achieve something greater than the sum of its parts. We find that mind and body together support each other. The body isn't something to be transcended or shed. It's not an obstacle to overcome. Instead, our bodies are the ultimate tools for engagement, for connection, for empowerment. And sometimes, when our minds and bodies are working as one and everything clicks into place, we reach what's called a non-dual state. The moment when the boundaries between body and mind dissolve and all that exists is that moment. Time slows, decisions happen without conscious thought, and we are fully in the experience. This being in the zone, that is true transcendence. Not in terms of leaving the body behind, but by fully inhabiting it, merging into something whole and sacred. But being in the zone is not limited to sports. In fact, it's closely related to the concept of flow. Flow happens when we stop forcing, stop hesitating, and just do. When the distinction between mind and body dissolve and we become one with our actions. It happens when a musician loses themselves in a song, when a dancer moves without thinking, when an artist disappears into their painting. And it happens in small and quiet ways too, when knitting or gardening. Any activity that pulls us into effortless action, where we can stop overthinking and simply do, can be a doorway to this state. These experiences of deep presence are inherently non-dual, and in those moments, there's no separation between you and what you're doing. No self-consciousness, no forcing, no overthinking, just movement and being. In many Eastern traditions, so we heard about the Western that taught us dualism, but in many Eastern traditions, this unity of mind and body isn't something rare or mystical. It's the natural way of being. Taoism has a name for it, Wu Wei, or effortless action. It's that feeling of being so in sync with what you're doing that it just flows. Instead of forcing a maneuver, a skilled martial artist feels the right moment to move. Instead of thinking about each note, a musician just plays, their fingers moving instinctively over the instrument. A potter shaping clay doesn't micromanage every movement of their hands. They respond to the material, adjusting without hesitation. This kind of embodied intuition isn't just for athletes or an artist, it's for all of us. We can tap into it when washing the dishes, and our hands will move automatically as our mind settles. We can find it gardening when years of tending the soil make planting and pruning feel instinctual. In kneading dough when our hands know just how to fold and to press. Now, this non-dual state might sound like mindfulness, but it really is something different. Mindfulness asks us to observe each moment with awareness, while non-duality invites us to dissolve into the moment, to stop watching and simply be. It's not something we have to learn. It's something we already know. It's something that comes naturally before the world teaches us otherwise. Children exist in this state of non-duality naturally. Watch a child at play and you will see them fully absorbed, fully present, fully embodied. They don't hesitate before jumping into a game or a puddle. They don't second guess the way their bodies move. They just are running and rolling and leaping and tumbling without hesitation, without any self-consciousness. But somewhere along the way, we are taught dualism. We are trained to see our bodies as separate from our minds, to evaluate them, to control them, even fight against them. Maybe that's why play is one of the most powerful ways to reclaim a non-dual experience. Play brings us back into our bodies. It pulls us out of our heads and into movement, sensation, and presence. And it's no coincidence that when adults allow ourselves to play, whether it's through skating or dancing or crafting or making a thunderstorm or laughing until our stomachs hurt, we don't just have fun. We remember. We remember what it feels like to move without hesitation, to trust our instincts, to lose ourselves in the moment. And if we let it, play can teach us something deeper, something we've always known but forgotten. But more on play in 2 weeks. Non-duality is for all of us. It happens when we throw ourselves fully into whatever we're doing, when we stop second-guessing and start trusting, and when we stop treating our bodies as tools to be managed and instead as partners in our experience. And when we can access it, we move through life differently, more freely, more fully, with life instead of against it, whether that's in the rhythm of the hands making thunderstorm, fingers flying over a keyboard, or a conversation so good we forget to check our phones. Those moments when we are just doing, not overthinking, when we bring our whole selves into the game, whatever that game may be. May it be so. May we make it so. And actually, how about we practice some more of it right now?
Hello, it's me again. Without a whole lot of coordination, actually, this flows really well together with the breathing that I'm going to teach you today. If you know me at all, A lot of you don't. But if you did know me, then you know that a lot of these topics are near and dear to me. Taoism, Eastern thoughts. I'm a martial artist. I'm an athlete, and I work with kids, so I play all the time. So flow, in this sense, and this skill has been integral to my well-being. So thank you, Don. That was an awesome sermon for me. I loved it. Now, I have some slides here. Nice, great. So the breath is often considered the intermediary between the mind and the body. Having a deep relationship with the breath, understanding its effects in the nervous system, it allows us to navigate conflict or the sorrows of our lives and to find deeper gratitude for all the grace or joys of our life. I see this as a bit of a continuation of the conversation of the past few weeks about conflict and some of the restorative practices that Maria brought up last week. So to begin our discussion, I'd like to bring us into an embodied state. You also used the word embodied. So one of my favorite ways to do this is the way we've all seen a cat do it before. Cats, they're all balled up, right? They're real small, and then they wake up and they stretch out. There's a cool name for this, and you probably do it each morning. Anybody ever done that in the morning? Right, you wake up and you stretch. It's called pandiculation. Pandiculation. So I'm gonna ask you to do it with me, if you don't mind. Take a deep breath in and stretch out. Don't hit your neighbors, please. Breathe in, and then go. That's pretty good. That's a good engagement, but we're going to do it one more time. Breathe in one more time. And let it go. Go. Right. Good. A little bit of embodiment there. So now we're going to do that again slowly. We're going to keep resetting. We're going to keep relaxing. As you can feel, you feel a little heavier on the other side of that, right? So we're going to engage in our bodies via yeah. Is that martial arts coming out? There it is. Great. So one more time. Reset. Take a deep breath in. You don't need to stretch out this time. Just breathe in and engage with your feet and your seat, your sit bones. Take a deep breath in and feel gravity fall through you as you exhale. Cyclical sighing is what's this called. Go again. You feel gravity fall through your center into your seat. You see in the diagram the center, not necessarily your spine, but right through your center mass. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Kind of take your feet and knead the ground like the way a cat would knead its mama's belly or has kneaded you whenever you're cuddling, right? You feel the ground beneath you. Take another deep breath in, hollow your chest and relax your back. Feeling a little heavier, soften your vision. Don't look too closely at the slide now, nor me, but allow your peripheral vision to be on. Soften your vision. Breathe slowly. And try to pay attention to your diaphragm. Right there below your lungs, at the ribs, that's your upper diaphragm. Next slide. It is important that the breath goes in and out of the nose whenever we're trying to engage in, say, non-dual breathing. Mouth breathing, not typically great for you. So breathing through the nose, there's better use of the oxygen and carbon dioxide coming out. So a meditation trick to ensure that you're always breathing out of your nose is to put your tongue behind your teeth. Make that clicking sound, right? Put your tongue behind your teeth and lock it down there like it's sealed. Creates a seal in the back of the mouth, and then you breathe only through the nose. When you breathe in the nose, it should be like a sipping sensation, very slowly. And when you exhale, it should just be the air is trickling out the nose, even slower than before. The last thing you want to do is take a deep breath in your nose and throw air violently into your sinuses. You have no lungs up here, I do promise. Or to just, the medicine is in the exhale, as my Tai Chi teacher taught me. Now, it's also important that you breathe at a 1-to-2 ratio, meaning 1 inhale, 2 exhale. And in this example, we're going to be breathing in for 4 seconds and out for 8. That's kind of the magic ratio. That puts you at breathing at about 5 to 6 times per minute, which keeps you in a parasympathetic, if you know that word, rest and digest state, in which your nervous system can function well, and healing can happen. So again, 4 inhale, 8 exhale. When you breathe in, your belly will expand, and even your lower back a little bit. This is belly breathing, as some people call it, or diaphragmatic breathing. And when you exhale, your belly will draw up, the diaphragm draws up, and air will expel out, kind of like a bellows. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like you have bellows in a fire, and you go, and the air will go out. So let's take a few breaths like that. Let's do it together. Breathe in, let's do a sigh. I always reset with the sigh. So take a deep breath in, and sigh. Nice, one more time. Right? A lot of yawning. Now breathe in very slowly for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in. Feel the belly expand, and then feel the belly release as you exhale. And if you're having a hard time exhaling that long, just slightly hold. Breathe in. We're all sharing this breath together as we exhale. 3, 4, 5, 6. And just be aware of your diaphragm for a moment there. And listen to the furthest sound that you can hear. Breathing in very slowly and out even slower. Great. Dawn talked about it a little bit, but about the flow state. And there's kind of 2 dominant flow states to be in. You can be in kind of a sympathetic flow state, like you're sure in a flow state when you're running from a bear, like everything is about that, getting away, right? But you could also be in a flow state while you're knitting, right? So there's, which one would you rather be in? I personally would rather be knitting or something like that. But also I fight, right? I'm a martial artist. And so whenever I'm in the competition, my goal is actually to remain in the rest and digest, in the softest state I can, as John said, because when the opponent pushes against me, I try to use their energy against them. I try to remain soft and be the more skillful person. So there's 2 different states, and I wanted to bring this to your attention. Sometimes people aren't quite aware of this. The nervous system regulation through the breath. If you find yourself in a parasympathetic dominant state, the rest and digest, you're breathing through your nose, you're breathing with your belly, and you're breathing only about 6 times per minute. If you start breathing any faster than that, I didn't make the rules, science says that you're getting into a sympathetic dominant state. Okay, so what are some parasympathetic things we can do? As mentioned, nature walks, crafting, art, cooking, connecting like we are here right now, loving each other, loving your family, looking at your family in the eyes, dancing, playing, sleeping. Probably the way we all assume we get our resting time, our healing time is during our sleep. But what if you engaged with the parasympathetic more throughout the day and you had more time throughout the day for that healing energy? Maybe you found yourself in a sympathetic loop, as I call it, where you wake up, alarm goes off, you drive somewhere, you're just chasing your own, you get home, and then you turn on the screen to relax. But it turns out that watching screens, driving, oftentimes our workplaces, and desire to even change a scenario, to gain anxious thoughts and or strenuous exercise can be sympathetic inducing. So a lot of us find ourselves in a sympathetic loop all day. And my invitation for you after today is to do a little bit more of this breathing and invite the parasympathetic into you today. And in that way, we can meet our community, our friends, our family in the best, open, kind-hearted space where, versus maybe coming in there with that sympathetic dominance. If we come in there with that parasympathetic dominance, then I think we'll open up for new opportunities. And I don't know what's more important to do than to show up well for our community. So thank you so much for your time. Yes, that is all. Every month at UUI gives half the Sunday collection to a cause chosen by our Social Justice Committee. This March, the share of the plate offering will go to the Exodus refugee immigration. Founded in 1981, Exodus has a long history of welcoming refugees and asylees from many countries, cultures, languages, faiths, and political opinions. Since they were founded, Exodus has helped thousands of refugees establish their lives in Indiana. In 2024, they welcomed 884 new refugees, representing 18 different countries, while providing ongoing services to refugees who already call Indiana their home. You can give on your smartphone by texting the dollar amount you want to give and the word share to the phone number which is in the chat and in your bulletin. It's up on the screen here. You can also give on our website at uui.org. Here in the sanctuary, ushers will come around with baskets to collect donations. The offering will now be gratefully received. May it be joyfully given. Thank you for your generosity. Our closing words today come from author Benjamin Hoff, the author of Tao of Pooh. In order to take control of our lives and accomplish something of lasting value, sooner or later we need to believe. We don't need to shift our responsibilities onto the shoulders of some deified spiritual Superman or sit around and wait for fate to come knocking at the door. We simply need to believe in the power that's within us and use it. And when we do that and stop imitating others and competing against them, things begin to work for us. Thank you.
Please rise together in body or in spirit as we join together in singing hymn number 1009, Meditation on Breathing. For this song, what we'll do is we'll start out by singing the drone part, which is the third line, through twice, and then we'll sing the melody, which is the first line, through twice, and then we'll sing the descant, which is the middle line, through twice together, and then the last 3 times, you can pick whatever part you want.
They need to use the books, not the screen.
You probably need to use the books, not the screen. Breathe in.
Please join me in our chalice extinguishing words on the screen and printed in your order of service. Now we extinguish the flame of our chalice, but not the light of understanding, the warmth of compassion, or the fire of commitment. Let us keep those with us until we meet again. Go in peace. Thank you.